Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Grind My Gears. I'm Sergeant Geek, and today we're going to be talking about how scared the Democratic Party really is about this election coming up on November 3rd. Now, they're setting the groundwork for a complete and utter total takeover. I've been searching the internet, that's why it's been taking me a while to come out with another video, but I got a clip here. You can hear Nancy Pelosi, I believe it's CNN. She's basically laying the groundwork right now for them packing the courts. And they're not just talking about the Supreme Court. They're talking about every court you can think of. They want to pack the courts because they know by some miracle, if Joe Biden does get elected, they're going to start packing it. So let's look at the video right now.
Jurisprudence. Are you, as the Speaker of the House, are you open to efforts to do that in the future?
Well, I think that Joe Biden has given us a good path. He's going to have something that people can understand why this is important. And I like what something that Brian said about not just the Supreme Court, but the other courts. It was in 1879, in 1876, there were 9 justices on the court. Our population has grown enormously since then. Should we expand the court? Well, let's take a look and see.
Right.
But not, and that relates to the 9 district courts. Maybe we need more district courts as well.
All right, you see, she's laying the groundwork already. Now, let's take a look at another video. Here's Chuck Schumer.
You may win this vote, and Amy Coney Barrett may become the next Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. But you will never, never get your credibility back. And the next time the American people give Democrats a majority in this chamber, you will have forfeited the right to tell us how to run that majority. They will never forget the rights that are limited, constrained, or taken away by a far-right majority on the Supreme Court. Listen to those words. You'll regret this, and you may regret it a lot sooner than you think. I would change just one word. My colleagues may regret this for a lot longer than they think. It's for the American people and what this nomination will mean for their lives, their freedoms, their fundamental rights. Monday, October 26th, 2020. It will go down as one of the darkest days in the 231-year history of the United States Senate.
Basically ridiculing and putting down the Republican Party for voting in ACB as the ninth Supreme Court Justice. Now, everything I could find on this particular person says that she's a constitutionalist. She's not a conservative. She's not Republican. I haven't found anything like that. If there is any information like that, do me a favor, put it in the comment section below. Let me know. But what I found and what President Trump has said is she's a constitutionalist. And from my understanding of a constitutionalist is whenever they pass verdicts on the law or any type of court cases, they go by what the founding fathers put in our Constitution. They do not put their own political, personal, or religious beliefs when making a decision. Now, take a look at this other clip right here. I can't remember this gentleman's name, but he's doing just like Pelosi. He's laying the groundwork. So let's take a look at this video right here.
We've got to have a wide open conversation about how do we rebalance our courts. Yes, the 2 Supreme Court cases that have been stolen, where these processes that are just wildly hypocritical have been used to jam through partisan nominees. But we got to look at our federal courts as a whole, Rachel, because we've seen hundreds of conservative judges put on circuit courts and district courts all over this country in the last 4 years. In many cases, too young, too unqualified, and too far right to be allowed to sit peaceably without our re-examining the process, the results, and the consequences.
All right, as you can see, once again, we got 3 people in Congress, all basically laying the groundwork for more judges. You got, here's a quote from an article from Ilhan Omar. I believe this is a tweet. She's basically saying that she wants to pack the court for the simple fact that she wants it to have the same values as the American people. Now, my understanding of how our political and government works, you have the judicial, the legislators, and the executive. Now, the judicial is there to make sure that nobody in the executive or the legislative branch of government can take too much power. They're there kind of like the teeter. When power goes far one way on the scale, they're there to make sure that it's not a complete 100 takeover, because they're there supposed to be for the law, not to be Republican, not to be Democrat, but to be there to make verdicts on the laws itself. That's it. They're supposed to be bipartisan. They're supposed to not put any political, religious, or personal beliefs in their decisions. What the Democrats want is they want for them to have more say in the judicial branch. Now, the only way they're going to get that is if Joe Biden is elected president. Because if Joe Biden is elected president and they move forward with stacking the courts, Joe Biden can now, instead of 9, and he can go up to as far as 18. He can go as far as 20, maybe 30. Who knows? Joe Biden is so senile, he might sign a bill and pass 50 new judges. And every judge that he picks is going to be somebody that they tell him to pick. So it's going to be far left, extreme activist type judges. And if they got 40 judges, all Democrats, and then you got these 9 constitutionalist judges, everything they say is going to be out the window because they're going to be overruled. It's going to be the second legislative branch of government, because whatever the Democrats, if they ever take the House, whatever bills they pass and whatever laws they pass, the judicial will just sign off on it and say it's okay because they're the same party. That's not how a government's supposed to work. Now, you got Ocasio-Cortez, all of them basically saying they can't wait for Joe Biden to get into office. They want him in because they know once he gets in, they can have a blue wave across the whole government and do what they want. Everything I found on the internet, like I said, this channel, it's all opinion. So I go on and search stuff that I see on YouTube and in the news, and I go and try to do the best I can to search it so I can give my opinion. And let me be clear, I am a Republican, so I'm a little biased. So just to be upfront, but in my eyes, this is what I see. They haven't passed the relief bill, and the reason why they haven't passed it yet is because Nancy Pelosi is holding it off. She's holding it off because they're all waiting for Joe Biden to win the election. When they win the election, that's when they're going to pass all these crazy bills and executive orders and all kinds of stuff that's going to favor Democratic parties, Democratic cities, Democratic states. And Joe Biden, I don't know what's going on, but Joe Biden has shot himself in the foot with the Democratic Party because he's basically turned his back on Bernie Sanders, Cortez. He turned his back on all of them when he went on stage in the debates and he said, I'm the Democratic Party. I beat them. But we know that's a lie because they're the ones in the background pulling the strings on Joe Biden. President Trump, from what I can tell, he's a man who says what he does and does what he says. He's trying to uplift the black communities, and even some rappers have come out and seen this and have tried to talk to the president. You have Ice Cube. Not too long ago, Ice Cube was on the news. Ice Cube first went to the Democratic Party to try to see if he can work some sort of negotiation contract and see what he can do for himself to help with the black community. They turned him down. They said after the election. He went to the Republicans. He went to the president. The president sat down with Ice Cube and got his input as a black African American man who's very successful in this country, to see if there's any way he can make the opportunity zones and all that other stuff that he wants to do in the low income communities, make it better, make it more prosperous for low income families. 50 Cent tweeted out with a little screenshot, I guess, of his TV or something. He saw the taxes in New York were going to go up to 62% with Biden and president. 50 Cent, the hell with that. I'm going over here. He basically said, I'm going to vote for Trump because Trump's not going to take all my money. Like every American, I don't know about you, but I'm not going to work and give more than half my money to the government so they can give it back to me. That makes no sense whatsoever. I got news for you. That's slavery. BLM, the NFAAC, whatever, the N-word ain't effing around coalition, they want to raise black people and raise them up on a higher pedestal. Guess what? Democrats ain't doing that. They're basically putting everybody under slavery. Because what was in slavery? Yeah, they purchased human beings. But when they took them back to the plantations and to the farms, they gave them just enough so that they can survive. Just enough to live. And everything else was for them. They kept everything. What do you think these high tax rates are? Joe Biden said numerous times the tax relief bill that Donald Trump passed, he's going to revoke it. Now, when he revokes that, all that extra money and child credits that everybody saw in their tax refund checks, that's gone. You can kiss that goodbye. So that means everybody's taxes automatically goes up right there. Now he says 400,000, anybody over 400,000, their taxes are going to go up. How much does the president make a year? Well, the president makes $400,000 a year. So it's funny how he said anybody over that is going to get a higher tax. All the other money, and it's funny how, from what I can gather, the senators and congressmen, they only, and the House of Representatives, they make, I think at the most, $250,000 to maybe $300,000 a year, if that. But Joe Biden has 3 houses. Bernie Sanders has multiple houses. These people are living well beyond their means. Think about it. You guys sitting at home, how much is the total annual income of your family? Are you anywhere close to that? Are you at the 200,000 range? Now, can you afford to a summer home, winter home, outdoor cabin out in the woods? Can you afford multiple properties that's not bringing in rent, that are pretty much vacant the entire year until you decide to go and hang out in that house for a month, 2 or 3 months? The rest of the time, the house is just sitting empty, paying the property tax on it, maintenance costs on it. You think Joe Biden's houses are run amok when he's not there? I guarantee all year long. There's servants there. There's landscapers. There's gardeners. There's pool maintenance if he has a pool on it. There's maintenance people there keeping that house up and running, looking good, for whenever he walks through the door, nothing has to be done. So you got to put that maintenance on top of the taxes and everything else that goes into owning those properties. And he's doing this on supposedly $250,000 to $300,000 a year. The math is not adding up. That's why when the laptop came to light, and the New York Post and Kayleigh McEnany, they were all blocked on Twitter. Twitter is acting like a publisher. Twitter's supposed to be an open area, like kind of like free speech. You're supposed to say what you want. Now I can understand Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. If somebody has a violent call to action, block them. That I can totally understand something like that going on, but that's not what's going on. Anybody that's ridiculing, mocking, or making fun of, or bringing up proof of Joe Biden that's making him look bad in his president run to become the next president of the United States, they're shadow banning, they're blocking, they're fact checking, they're doing everything and anything to block them. Black Lives Matter has been caught numerous times on Facebook getting people together for rallies, or what they call rallies, but what turns out to be actual riots. Antifa, same thing. They're never blocked. Their accounts are never banned. They're never nothing. I know of at least 2 channels. One channel in which is a channel I like to watch on YouTube. It's called the Liberal Hivemind. Now, the Liberal Hivemind, I like that show. The guy puts out a lot of information in a very short amount of time. Gives you a lot to think about. His channel, because pretty much he's siding with Trump and making fun of Biden, he's been shadow banned. And what a shadow ban means on YouTube is, if you're not subscribed to the channel, your video is not getting put out there, which is probably what's going to happen to me. I know I have a presidential debate video that I put out, and YouTube blocked it. Now the reason they told me it was blocked was because Fox blocked it. Fox blocked it because I have a couple of clips from Sean Hannity and one of the other shows that I have on there for references on the stuff that I was saying. And I don't like to just do like the news and snip little edits and everything. I like to put as much of the clip on there so you can get the full context of what's being said. Fox blocked it. Now I have a lot of other videos that are demonetized on there, which means when my channel ever gets to that point of ever being able to put ads and commercials on it and making an income off of it, almost half my shows will not make any money off of it. For the simple fact is, I put some stuff in there from clips and TV shows, try to give a little bit more of an entertaining factor to you guys. And if you notice the last couple of videos that I did on this channel and on my toy collectors channel, they're kind of like not so much with the toy stuff or the pictures or TV commercials, because the simple fact is, every time I put one of those on, it gets demonetized. So I'm trying to create new ways. Hence, as you can see now, my new background for this show. I'm gonna try to do a lot more stuff to entertain you guys, but let's get back to the point at hand on what I was trying to say with the Democrat Party. Democrat Party is basically making a run for total socialism. There's videos out there. There's a gentleman out there, TV. His channel is called Louder with Crowder. Steve Crowder. He's a comedian. Started off as a comedian. He does a lot of political stuff now, but just like a lot of us on YouTube, because he saw what's going on and got fed up and had to put it out there because he sees what's wrong, just like everybody else. And he's got a video on his channel of him in Canada where Bernie Sanders or anybody says that the medical procedures in Canada, the process of getting Medicaid and medical treatment is so much better than the United States. He's out there and he takes a friend who's still, because he's a Canadian but was born in the United States, raised in Canada, but he took his friend who's a Canadian citizen, and they go to some of these urgent care facilities, emergency rooms, and try to get this fabulous medical treatment that Canada has. Throughout the whole episode or the whole video, they never once see a doctor. They're told that they gotta wait so many times. They're even told to go get private insurance to get what they need done. Now, does that sound like a working system? To me, it doesn't. And like I said, I got a few clips on here. I'm gonna add to the end of this video. I'm gonna add a few more clips. I'm gonna add some postings that I found And like always, this is straight for your entertainment, for you to make a informed decision. We're coming up close on November 3rd. Today's Halloween. And I looked down the street. I went for a walk in my neighborhood. Nobody's trick-or-treating. I hope the kids in your neighborhood are trick-or-treating. In my neighborhood, I haven't seen one costume all day. I've been out and about running errands, doing a lot of other stuff. I have not seen one costume today. Then when I went to Walmart yesterday, the Halloween section was completely full. Barely anybody's brought costumes because of the whole pandemic. Now, like I said, I'm going to put these videos out there for your entertainment. I'll get back with you once you finish watching all this. So let's go ahead and run the clip.
And I promised Joe that I will give him that perspective and always be honest with him.
And is that a socialist or progressive perspective?
No. No, it is the perspective of a woman who grew up a black child in America, who was also a prosecutor, who also has a mother who arrived here at the age of 19 from India, who also, you know, likes hip hop. Like, what do you want to know?
What kind of country we're going to be? 4 more years of Georgia, he's going to find ourselves in a position where, if Trump gets elected, we're going to be in a different world. Here's the deal. One of the things that is important is that keep in mind, although they're going to vote on Barrett, I think today.
That line, please. We're going to click that, guys.
Remind that it's really important that
I wish you would interview Joe Biden like you interview me. It would be so good. You know what?
You like this, I thought. I thought you liked
I don't mind it. But when I watch him walk out of a store, and he's walking with an ice cream, and the question the media asks him, what kind of ice cream, what flavor ice cream do you have? And he's in the midst of a scandal.
He's not.
And he's taking,
he's
of course
not.
he is,
No,
Leslie.
come on.
Of course he is. It's the biggest, second biggest scandal.
So,
the biggest scandal was when they spied on my campaign. They spied on my campaign.
Well, there's no real evidence of that.
Of course there is.
No.
It's all over the place. Leslie,
Sir,
they spied on my campaign and they got caught.
Can I say something? You know, this is 60 Minutes, and we can't put on things we can't verify.
You won't put it on because it's bad for Biden.
We can't put on things we can't verify.
Leslie, they spied on my campaign.
Well, we can't verify that.
It's been totally verified.
No.
It's been, just go down and get the papers. They spied on my campaign, they got caught.
No.
And then they went much further than that, and they got caught. And you will see that, Leslie, and you know that, but you just don't want to put it on the air.
As a matter of fact, I don't know that.
Okay.
Was it spying? Well, yeah, I guess it meets the dictionary definition of surveillance or spying.
So there's a big difference between equality and equity. Equality suggests, oh, everyone should get the same amount. The problem with that, not everybody's starting out from the same place. So if we're all getting the same amount, but you started out back there and I started out over here, we can get the same amount, but you're still gonna be that far back behind me. It's about giving people the resources and the support they need so that everyone can be on equal footing and then compete on equal footing. Equitable treatment means we all end up at the same place.
Equitable footing means we all end up at the same place. There is a very,
very clear definition for that ideal. It's called communism, and it never leads to what she suggests. You know what it leads to? It leads to dictatorships every single time. It's a linear system of authority, of pure government control, where absolute power corrupts absolutely, and the loss of life becomes catastrophic in every single example we have in human history. It's easy to make it sound good, it sounds idealistic, frankly, it's even appealing to intellectuals, especially people who don't understand the context of history. It sounds like the right thing to do, but it's not. It's morally egregious. And 2 days from the election, Kamala Harris says the Biden-Harris administration believes in equity over equality of opportunity. Not that everybody should have the same platform and the same opportunities towards success, and those who work harder might get a little more. Those with more competence, higher levels of talent, reap the benefit, reap the rewards of their talent and hard work. But that everybody at the end of the day should finish at the exact same finish line. Everybody gets a trophy. There's no winners and losers. And she is getting torched over this specific idea. Not only from people on the right. Check out some of these tweets. This is a pretty in-your-face endorsement of equality of outcomes as a policy goal, as opposed to equality of opportunity. Look, you guys got my vote because I voted against Trump, but this is a really, really bad idea. Just like I told you guys, this guy Fletcher Dunn voted for them after he got swindled on what they actually believe in. And now he's realizing, whoa, what did I vote for? Buddy, you just voted for communism. We tried to warn you, but you guys wouldn't listen because you're voting against Trump instead of for the right candidate and policies. This is propaganda in action, my friends. Look at this tweet right over here from Andrew Sullivan. Why would a vice presidential candidate seemingly endorse full-on Marxism days before a general election? Does she believe government should enforce equality of outcome for everyone? Seriously? Equitable treatment means we all end up in the same place. That's equality of outcomes enforced by the government. They used to call that communism. The Dems are finally open about their admiration of the most repressive system of organizing society. Equitable treatment means we all end up in the same place is literally communism. This, historically, has meant that everyone, but for the party elites, has the same incredibly low standard of living. That impoverished life comes with a heaping side of death, destruction, and totalitarianism. I'll pass. We've got this tweet right over here. You seriously with this? This literally means Marxism. We all end up in the same place. Literally means each of us will have the same wealth. At Joe Biden, you've been promoting a moderate platform. Are you aware of this Marxism wealth redistribution / equalization proposal? Just lost my vote.
I am so honored to introduce the next president of the United States, Senator Kamala Harris.
Laura Loomer catches Kamala Harris body double at Palm Beach polling place. Check out this video.
I was there to see your speech.
So much.
That's not Kamala Harris. That's me. Doesn't even look like her. That's not Kamala Harris. That's not Kamala Harris. It looks nothing like her. Very deceptive to the voters to send body doubles out. Very deceptive. It's a fake Kamala Harris.
Why is Kamala Harris using a body double? I mean, obviously, I'm not trying to get into some crazy theories. I don't know if she's actually using that or those were just random people, a separate group. I don't exactly know what's going on here, but I just find it kind of funny. It's a funny story. And if you think about leader Kamala, then you think about Kamala Harris body doubles. It's a little bit of a funny connection. And also, who remembers this? Yeah, I'm sorry, that's not Hillary Clinton. The Democrat Party is the party of the coastal elite, masquerading as virtuous people who care about equity. They just want the best for you. They just want you guys to have things because you deserve it. But in reality, their intention is to seize power while at the same time hurting your standard of living. Joe Biden's energy policies could wipe out millions of auto jobs. Yeah, no S, Sherlock. The coastal elite who want to take away your livelihood while simultaneously looking down at you. The coastal elite from their ivory tower looking down at you in a patronizing fashion, telling you how to live your life. This is in North Carolina. Lines winding through the countryside for Trump as he deplanes in the state. This is the rural vote. This is the vote that will or won't decide the next election. This is the vote that will decide whether they want their lives to be ruled by the coastal elite. These pseudo-intellectuals who are literally pushing Marxism as their presidential platform right now in a blatant power grab, the likes of which the American people have never seen. This has never happened before. This is unprecedented in American history. And the whole way that they've gone about it is what makes it so overtly disgusting. They've called Trump supporters and Trump himself an alarm alarmist. They've called him a liar, saying he's exaggerating about Kamala Harris. Kamala and Biden have masqueraded as moderates for months now, meanwhile being in bed with Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, AOC, Beto O'Rourke, the squad members as a whole. Of course, Kamala Harris probably being one of the most far left out of all of them. They've lied to you, and then at the last hour, at the last second, they turn around and say, oh, by the way, we're Marxists. Despicable. But you guys get it, and let's see what happens on November 3rd. And also spread this far and wide, because it's extremely important that moderate voters understand what's going on here.
George, the president is on an all-out sprint to Election Day. Look where he is just today. Rallies in Michigan, Iowa, North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. Tomorrow, another 5 rallies in 4 different states. The last one in Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's where he had his last rally in 2016. For a guy who was literally in the hospital with COVID-19 on oxygen, this is really something of a marvel. And there's even talk, George, that he may do one last rally on Election Day itself. He pulled off a massive upset victory 4 years ago. He is doing everything that he can physically do to do it again.
Barack and I think it's a right for people to have bad health care. Folks, we got a lot of work to do. I don't only need you to get me elected, I need you once I'm elected. I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
And I told you guys, the president's in really good spirits. And what he was laughing at was this meme right over here.
I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
This is President Donald Trump. This is a Trump rally. These are the memes that carry him to the finish line, that energize his base, and frankly, are just good fun. Meanwhile, Joe Biden rallies are like this. Whereas Trump rallies are just so much fun. The president just couldn't stop laughing. I've actually never seen him in such good spirits. Check out this little riff right over here.
That is something. I don't know. You know what? Our country is great. We have such great potential. You can't do that. You can't do that. We want to be nice. You know the good news? He's not a nice guy, so I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad at all. One of the biggest issues for Michigan in this election is the subject of refugees. With this weather, you don't have to worry about it. They'll never come. They're never coming. You sent a vid that said, I'm going back, this is terrible. It's freezing up there.
How good is that, guys? I mean, come on. This guy just never stops. The enthusiasm, the energy, the uplifting momentum, pushing the American spirit, and being proud in self and in nation, it's just great messaging, and it makes people feel great, not to mention he's funny. Speaking of funny, watch him go after Sleepy Joe at that same rally.
I said, Joe, why didn't you do it? You were there for 47 years, and you just left 3.5 years ago. You know, why didn't you do it, Sleepy Joe, you sleepy guy? You see him now, he's got the shades on. Comes out. Hey, be quiet up there, be quiet. He said, they keep clapping up there. They're all our people. We have more people show up. They're our people. No, he's very agitated. You know how angry he is? He's so angry. You know why he's angry? Because he's losing, that's why he's angry. No, he's very agitated. I don't think he knows he's losing. I don't think he knows anything, actually.
Man, he hammered him. And he's right, too. Joe is not all there. I mean, the media and the fact checkers will do everything to cover up Joe's cognitive decline, but we've covered it for how long on this channel? We had a gaffe yesterday, a gaffe the day before, a gaffe the day before, a gaffe the day before. He can't possibly have more gaffes. How many times have I said that one? He had like 3 gaffes today, guys. Seriously, 3 of them. Wait till I show you guys this stuff. Here's Joe Biden in Philadelphia, forgetting where he started his campaign.
I never believed it would be this much in jeopardy. We launched our campaign over on the Oval back in May 9th, 2019. But you know what I said then, we've been through a lot since then.
It's hard to watch, guys, seriously. That's just the start. Here's Joe Biden jumbling up his words and saying, I am Finnegan Biden's grandmom. And then going, that's his grandma. Check this out.
Philly girl, and I am Finnegan Biden's grandpa. That's her grandma, and I'm her grandpa.
Jesus, man. Like my dad says, Jesus Murphy. Next up, here's Joe Biden screwing everything up in Philly once again at a different rally. The first gaffe once again messing up numbers.
1 in 100 black Americans. It's going to be 1 in 1,000 black Americans.
Check out this one, trying to pander in Pennsylvania, claiming that he has an Eagles jacket.
I was very happy to have the moniker of being known as Pennsylvania's 3rd senator. I know Philadelphia well. I married a Philly girl, by the way. And by the way, I got my Eagles jacket on.
Well, if we enhance and zoom in on the picture, turns out it was a Delaware Blue Hens jacket. The man is out of touch. He's lost. Keep in mind, everything I just showed you guys happened in the last 24 hours. In fact, all of those rallies were basically in the first 5-hour block. That was 1 day of rallying. But when it comes to Joe, we have months, years of this man just stumbling and fumbling all over his words, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. Really, let's put that into perspective. Check out this quick little montage.
My name is Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
I have a record of over 40 years, and that I'm going to beat Joe Biden.
I got in trouble when we were running against the senator who was a Mormon, the governor.
This is the man who wants to become the president of the United States of America. Seriously, are you kidding me? And that's just one of his issues. I mean, that's probably the most glaring one. It's the most obvious on surface level issue that he's in decline in his old age. And like I always say, it's disqualifying. You cannot be the president of the most powerful nation on earth, the most important job, the hardest job probably on planet Earth, and you can't even remember where you are or what jacket you're wearing. You can't tell the difference between 100 and 1,000. You call yourself someone's grandmom. It's craziness. It's abject craziness. And on top of that, the guy seemingly used his political power and his political office to benefit himself and, of course, his family. And we have this breaking piece that's once again showing the connection between Hunter and Joe. This is from General Flynn. And keep in mind, General Flynn worked in the Obama administration, and Joe Biden despised him. He released this very cryptic tweet. Ask who is Kathy Chung, EOP, and why in 2015 is she giving a treasure trove of intelligence, phone numbers, to Hunter and redacted. Any foreign power would love to have this information. And turns out, based on government documents and government info on a government website, she was in fact then Vice President Joe Biden's assistant, handing over intelligence and phone numbers over to Hunter and another person who is, quote, redacted. A little bit of a cryptic hint from Michael Flynn, and you know, internet sleuths are working overtime to figure this one out. But it's just crazy, man. It's just a mess. This guy is a mess. I wouldn't trust Joe Biden to keep his shirt clean eating something with ketchup on it. I'd probably put a bib on him, and he's supposed to be the man in the Oval Office.
Alright, you guys saw the last clip I got on there. I know I went on a little rant, but this is very important. This election is the election. If by some miracle Joe Biden becomes the next president of the United States, we're gonna be in so much trouble. I'm letting you know now. When this happens, if YouTube doesn't ban my video or pull it off YouTube, go back to this video and see everything I said and tell me if it's not happening. Tell me if they're not going and trying to withdraw the Second Amendment. And a lot of you guys that own firearms, think about this. When they say the buyback, some of you guys out there got some very expensive firearms. I know my M4, or not my M4, my M4 style platform, my AR-15, or mine, because it's not an AR-15, it's a style that's an AR-15, but it's actually a carbine 15, is a pretty expensive piece. That gun runs about $1,200 to $1,400, that rifle. I know friends of mine, they got rifles that run up to about $5 grand. When they do this mandatory buyback, you're looking at about $200 to $300 when they force you to hand your gun in. Now think about that. You spend $5,000 on your firearm, and they're gonna give you a couple of $100 for it. Does that seem fair? And they're gonna say it's all in the process of making you safer. Two, they're gonna start once all this goes on. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all the social media networks. They're going to have carte blanche to block anybody who says anything that they don't agree with. So all you guys that are on YouTube making videos, or those of you out there that are kind of like me and thinking about going on YouTube and starting your own channel and trying to see what you can do with it, that'll be nix. Because they're going to have certain categories that you're going to be able to do, and if you don't do what they like, they're just going to shut you down. So think about that as well. Then, like I said, taxes are going to go up for everybody, and when anybody over $400,000, which is basically small business owners and everybody above from there, what's going to happen is when their taxes go up, the price of their merchandise and their services are going to go up to compensate for the taxes. That's why I tell you, taxes for the higher ups, it's not going to mean a thing, because we're going to pay it in one way, shape, or form. People that are buying their services, buying their products, we're going to pay those taxes. They're not going to pay it. We're going to pay it. They're going to start putting more regulations back down. So now a lot of the big time companies that are actually starting to trickle back into the United States, bringing jobs and everything, nix that. They're going to go back wherever they came from. They're going right back there. And then we're going to have China moving right in with all their products. And I ain't going to lie, I have a lot of Chinese products. I make a lot of purchases through Wish and a few other companies. A lot of it's crap, but you always get that diamond in the rough. You always find something good on those sites. Now just think about that. When you go into a store to go buy TV, you're going to have to go and really investigate, because there's going to be 100 brands of TVs, and you're going to have one that's good and the rest are all crap. And that's what's going to happen. Take away your guns, raise your taxes, cheap and poorly made products, gas prices going to go through the roof. They try to start shutting down oil companies and natural gas. Gas prices going through the roof. You think gas prices were bad back in the day? At some places I know gas was as high as $6. It's going back there. When they start shutting it down, that car you just brought and are still making payments on it, you ain't even going to be able to afford to drive it. I looked at Tesla. Tesla is an amazing car. Trust me, I want a Tesla. I want one. They look awesome. There's so many people here where I live at that got Teslas, and they're amazing. They're quiet. I've seen people take off from a red light and you don't hear a sound. It's just amazing. But the basic package just to get a Tesla, it's like, I think the cheapest one is like, they're gonna make one that's about $35,000. But what is the mileage on that? How often are you gonna have to hit a charging station? And with no oil and no natural gas running our power plants, and they want to put solar panels everywhere and wind turbines, how long is it going to take when you're sitting at one of these places to charge up your Tesla? And if you want one of the good ones, the real nice ones, like the ones I see in my neighborhood, those are they're over $100,000. They're just like buying a BMW, Mercedes, Lexus, or top-end exotic sports car. But to be honest, they're worth it. They may not look like it on the outside, but these cars can zoom. You hit that gas, boom, they're great. They're awesome. But not everybody can afford one. So you out there with your GMC pickup or your Honda CRV, it's going to cost you like $80 to put gas in it. Is that really worth it, having Joe Biden as president, to have all this stuff go on? And like I said, I pray that my video doesn't get banned. If God forbid would, but if for some reason Joe Biden gets banned, if for some reason Joe Biden becomes president and my video does not get blocked on YouTube, come back to this video and see if anything I said has come true. Alright guys, this is a pretty long video here. I'm going to leave a link in the description to to my other video, the president's debate that I put out that was blocked, because the only way you can look at it now is by sharing the link. If you like what I'm putting on the channel, hit the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment. Let me know how I'm doing. Like I said all the time, let me know how I'm doing on here. Let me know if you like what I'm saying. If you like what I'm putting out there. If not, if there's something else you want to see on here, let me know. And just a quick reminder, over on my toy review channel, on that show, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. YouTube has very strict rules and regulations on how to give away prizes on the channels. So I'm looking into it real good. I got a lot of stuff to give away. I got the Game of Thrones Mega Block set. I got a Star Wars and remote control droid. I got some Hot Wheels, a lot of Hot Wheel cars, and a couple other things. And I'm going to be giving this out. It's not to just one big grand prize. I'm making like about 5 or 6 small prizes. It's just a way to get people on here that watching my show, get you something back and let you know what's going on. So take a listen to my toy review. I'm going to be putting information that comes out, and I'm not doing any big giveaway video because that likes to draw in the vultures that just log into videos just to find out about giveaways. So it's going to be embedded in my video, and I'll let you know on all my channels where the video, which show, when it comes out, so you guys can take a look at it, see what's going on. I want the viewers to get the prizes. I don't want people that just swoop in, grab free stuff, and then swoop right out. I want the people that are actually watching my show to claim these prizes, and something from me giving back to you guys. All right. So once again, this is Sergeant Geek, and I'm signing off.